Is a heart-wrenching situation what's going on in Ukraine now. It's been like almost a week now roughly, and a lot of things have happened. A lot of non-Ukrainians have tried to scramble to safety, including citizens of the country. And we've heard a lot of things about, racial discrimination, even while they're trying to get to safety. So right now we'll be talking about that and about the situation as regards evacuating different African nationals to their various countries. Before we go into that, we have Dr. Usaini Umar. I don't know if he's there right now with his team in Hungary. Do we have him live?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Dr. Usaini Umar. Now, Dr. Usaini Umar runs an NGO with his team, and they're currently in Hungary trying to render assistance to Nigerians in diaspora and those who are stuck at the borders. So, Dr. Hosseini, I spoke with you earlier on the news, and you gave us an update of the situation. If you could kindly just bring us up to speed about that once again.
Correct. We have spoken, but I think it will be better to hear from those who experienced this traumatized situation. We have about 4 of them here. You can speak to them and let them narrate to you their experience.
All right. Yeah, put them on.
My name is Pascal. I'm from Anambra State. I studied in Ukraine, in the city of Kharkov. So it was quite a very bad experience having to run away from such kind of events. I have been in Ukraine for 8 months studying civil engineering, and it all just came as a shock. I didn't expect something like this. So I had to sleep outside, trying to flee the border of Hungary, through Hungary, coming to Hungary to be safe. We had to sleep outside for almost 4 days, the cold and every other thing. But thank God, we were able to be rescued, and now we are safe. The needles, it really helped us a lot. But we called the number we saw online, and it was Mr. Hussein who answered. And when we came around, they gave us good hospitality, gave us food, because for long we weren't able to eat anything good, gave us shelter as well. So for now, I'm happy that we are safe, and then we think of what to do next.
Okay, Pascal, before you go on, I'd like to speak to you and the other gentlemen there. Now, while you were in school, was there a contact from the embassy of your country or anybody from any official from the embassy of your country that you usually or you regularly reach out to, or that you can reach out to should you have any issues concerning schooling, concerning accommodation, or concerning your well-being in Ukraine? That was prior to this crisis.
There was no contact from my school. There was no contact from the embassy or whatsoever. We just had to find our way, maneuver our way to this place. And it was a very terrible situation. Both the racist situation over there is very terrible. Very, very terrible.
Okay, talking about the racist situation, you experienced it firsthand. So I would like you to expatiate on that, because we've been hearing a lot of things. We've seen videos of racial discrimination, black people getting into the train, and the police over there asking them to get out because of the color of their skin. So can you just give us more details on that?
Yeah, the situation about, because it got to
I think we have a problem with the audio. If you can hear me, Dr. Husseini, I think the audio is muted.
Okay, maybe network problem.
Okay,
that's better. That's better. Yes. Thank you.
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I said it got to a point where we are not allowed to enter the train. To the Ukrainians, children and the mothers, we are just allowed to enter the train. And we stayed back till when we got into the train like 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. But when we got to the train station around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were there like 3 trains left, 4, it got to 4. And even when we were in the train, we could not even find a place to sit. We stood up throughout the whole journey. So it's really very, very terrible, sincerely speaking.
Okay, do you think this is actually an issue of racial profiling or citizen prioritization?
Strongly,
Is it just
strongly.
was it just Africans?
There's this experience. We're going through a train that was going to Poland from Kyiv, and we were in the train. We were able to retract ourselves into the train. And like after 30 minutes, the Ukrainian police came in and chased out all the blacks in it.
Only the blacks?
All the blacks, only the blacks. They were being chased out of the train. And then we had to wait again for another train to come. Now we don't understand what they speak. We tried to ask them why, but they just pushed my bag away, and I'm like, you don't fight with them. You try to fight, they shoot gun up, and then you just have to calm down. Now, in a country where there's crisis and they issue out weapon to every civilian and tell them to defend themselves against who? And the civilians are racist who hate blacks. Now, these are one of the reasons we have to start running away. So that probably a Ukrainian don't come to shoot at you and say you're a Russian spy because you're a black man. No.
Now, prior to this crisis, have you witnessed, or is there anyone of your friends or colleagues or any African or people of different race who you may have witnessed or heard of that has been treated with racial discrimination? Because one can argue that in cases of crisis, they are trying to protect their citizens first and make sure that they are safe. This is just playing devil's advocate. But prior to this time, have you been racially discriminated against, or any of your friends or colleagues or schoolmates, or is there anyone you know of that may have experienced racial discrimination while in Ukraine?
Of course, I myself, go into a supermarket to get something, and the way they react to you, the way they shift at you, the way they act as if you smell.
Also, entering into the elevator, them giving you they make it seem like we are not humans like them. Like you getting into an elevator and maybe a Ukrainian wants to come in and see that it's black people. He turns back and it's an elevator that can contain about 13 persons, but it's just about 2 blacks there. But they refuse to enter the elevator with you and like stay back for the elevator to go and return to pick them up, stuff like that. I came into Ukraine about early January. That was sometime January, yes. I've been in Ukraine for close to about 2 months now, and facing all of this crisis wasn't a good experience for me. Sleeping under the metro with the cold and stuff like that. I myself also, I flew from Ukraine down here without my bags, my luggages, because I had to leave them at the train station because I couldn't get them into the train. I was able to leave with just my passport and the clothes I was having on. That was all I came out with. And thanks to Dr. Hussein and Mrs. Choma, who I contacted and was able to get me down here. And right now, I believe I'm more safe than I was where I was then in Ukraine. And I was able to eat good food and stuff like that. But so far, so good. I'm better now.
Let me disagree with you at the point. Because you made mention that at the time of crisis, they defend their citizen first, which is not so. Human life is human life anywhere, whether you're citizen or non-citizen. That's why Hungarian government allowed everybody to come in with or without passport, not discriminating, saying that only Ukrainian citizens. So this is not correct information that they are citizen first. I mean, life is life.
Okay, Dr. Hussein, if I may ask, first of all, we really applaud what you and your team are doing, and it really is great. We would like to ask, what's the next step now for these young ones whom you have accommodated, and for others who may be coming? What lies in stock for them from your end? What's next?
For those who want to go back to Nigeria, Nigerian federal government has provided the evacuation plan. And those who want to continue their studies, we have agents here who can organize them for them, transfer, who is Mrs. Chioma, can organize for them transfer of their credit from the former university to any university that can accept them here in Hungary.
Permit me to just say again that it really is an amazing thing you're doing with your team. It's really applaudable, and we applaud it. Thank you so much for all you're doing.